Welcome back to the Props and Playmakers podcast, where cousins collide, codes get cracked, and culture gets called out. It's episode 11. We're going to be having a look at the Kangaroo Tour. So what's happening, Bruss? Had a week off last week. Feels like it's been a month.
Yeah, dude, it definitely feels like it's been a long time. Yeah, week off last week. We both had a little bit going on, so yeah, we just had to take a little bit of time for ourselves. But we're back, better than ever.
Yeah, little off-season break, bit of a grand final hangover there. So, just sort of need to recalibrate and get ready for the for a little bit of international footy. So yeah. I guess we'll jump into it. We might just sort of lead into the Aussie game this week, but we were just talking about it off camera. Man, how crazy is the Samoa and the Tonga side who are playing each other this weekend?
Oh, dude, they are absolutely crazy sides, just stacked full of stars, aren't they?
Yeah, it's crazy to think back in the day, you know, they'd be flat out getting any players out of, a lot of the players that go and play for Australia and New Zealand. And now, it all goes back to Jason Taumalolo in 2017. He went from the Kiwis and went back to represent Tonga. And then ever since that, we've had an influx of players from all the high quality class players that are now going back to their back to the islands and representing.
Yeah, it's definitely created a bit of a surge around them going back and playing for their root heritage sort of teams, isn't it? And yeah, man, like. As you've said, like years gone by, they've struggled to put sides together, and then even more so when they've gotten a side together, they've just gone out there and gotten absolutely thrashed. And yeah, you look at the sides this year, and you've got superstars in there. So just going down some of the Samoan list at the moment, you've got Isaac Tago, Brian To'o, Dean Mariner, Murray Talangai, Blaze Talagi, and Jerome Luai, all in the back line. In the forwards, you've got Papali, Haas, Nanai, Paulo, like they're all another just huge names.
Well, I guess it's the same with the Tonga team there. You know, you've got the likes of Katoa, who we had as a pick in our Dally M team list this year. And again, like you look at. They've got Iongi. He's usually a fullback, but he's played 5'8" in the juniors. There's an eel there that that'll be cool for me to sort of see him get a bit of 5'8", because that might give us some ideas for next year that if we need to fill in that position, and just some of the versatility that they've got there, I think that these teams, like leading into the next World Cup, which I think is next year, these are teams that obviously Australia will be favourites, but it'll be good to see some of these guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And a couple other guys there from the Tonga side. Whanua Blake, he was in our Dally M side. Guy that wasn't in our side, but the fella that you just mentioned before, Taumalolo. And then off the bench, Felice Kafusi. So they've got a pretty star-studded side as well. Yeah, man, it's definitely going to make the series a lot more interesting, have a bit more competition, and a lot more sides that are contending for that trophy.
Yeah, no, we didn't sort of plan it for the podcast, but I forgot it was on actually. But New Zealand played Samoa on the weekend, and just seeing some of them guys like Mariner, he scored a try in the grand final as well. Seeing some of the form, Mariner's a guy. I mean, he's not eligible for State of Origin because I think he came over here after his 13th birthday, whatever the sort of rules are around that. But seeing some of these guys. Payne Haas, for example, goes out there, does the Payne Haas special, 80 minutes, 40 tackles, none missed. How does this guy just keep putting up these numbers, man? It's fucking crazy.
Backing up off a huge season in the grand final. How do you put your body through that? They're really athletes in this day and age. Whereas I suppose years gone by it was like a pub sport where you had guys that they had a full-time job as well as playing playing football. And now you've got the calibre of player that they're an athlete. They're brought up and bred to play football. That's all they want to do, and they live and breathe it. And it shows in the performance.
Yeah, it's these days. I think if you really don't focus on that athletic performance and recovery and all of those things, you're going to get left behind. It's gone are the days where you'd have blokes going out the night before a game and having 6 beers. Like these days, it's sort of lock in or you're gone. It's just, I think it's the professionalism in the game's really gone up a notch.
And there's a lot more competition for the spots in the sides these days as well. I think like rugby league as a whole has taken off hugely in our country over the last 10, 15 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And we got the Aussie boys over there. The rock star Reece Walsh. He gets the number 1 jersey, which I think it's no real surprise, but going to be great to see him. I think he's making his debut for the Kangaroos on this one. So I really, really love seeing it. There's a lot of Broncos in the side, which I think is well deserved since they won the grand final.
Yeah. Well, a lot of their players are in form, as we've spoken about, coming into the end of the season. Those guys were really in form and just running like a, Bart Cummins trained horse.
Yeah, that's it, man.
So, yeah. I've also, I think the English, like the for the fan base side of things, the English are going to love Walshy. Like, he's just one of them players that brings that magic to it. And, yeah, I feel like it's going to be a real step in the right direction for rugby league on a whole.
Yeah, it's going to be great seeing, obviously, playing at there's some, that's a very well-renowned stadium over there, Wembley. They play the soccer there and, it's, as we've talked about, I think we talked about it on the last episode, just about the English fans and whether it's cricket, rugby league, soccer, or football to them, over there, they love singing and chanting and everything. So I'm sure they'll have like a little song in the back pocket for Walshy, but
also, definitely something to do with toilet water.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what Kevy's just got to take a leaf out of Madge's book, and he's got to bring that toilet water in for this series. Who knows what might happen. What do you reckon about? They got Gordon Tallis over there as on the staff. He'll be firing the boys up, I think.
Yeah, the cultural staff, isn't he?
Yeah,
culture coach or something like that.
Yeah,
we sort of we had a conversation about it. I think last week or the week before. I think there might be a cattle dog type call going out or something like that, maybe.
Yeah. Well, there was actually an article that I seen come out during the week, and it was about how would it be awkward considering he's got a lot of opinions about these players being on 360 and that, but I think his response to it was they're paid to play and I'm paid for my opinion.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Look, he's always been straight down the line, hasn't he? Like that's one thing we can expect from Gordy. He's going to tell it the way he sees it, whether it be the way everyone else sees it or not. He's going to tell you the way he sees it.
Yeah, sweet. Well, on the Aussie game, I thought we might just build a little multi this week.
Yeah, cool, man, cool. What do we go pick a player each or something like that?
Yeah, I'm going to kick it off with Shibasaki on debut.
Anytime try scorer.
Yeah, anytime try scorer for Shibasaki.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good pick. And, well, I guess no surprises who I'll pick then. Our little superstar, our little plumber mate.
Yeah.
So we'll go Walshy for the anytime as well.
I'll just check what that's paying. Like, what were you going to say?
Are we going to go a margin as well on that?
Yeah, we might as well.
Be rude not to.
What do you think?
I think we're going to stomp them. I think we're going to stomp them.
We could also, I mean, you look at the line, they're minus 14.5 on the line, Australia. So We
Yeah,
basically need to
right.
beat them by 15 to even get the line. So, but yeah, I guess we could look at what do you reckon, like a 13 plus, or
Yeah, you just get going over there on that, I think.
to be honest, we're probably better off taking the line because 13 plus is $1.70 and the line's $1.90.
I'll take
we
the line then.
we could pick our own line. Like, what do you think as a margin we'd beat them by?
Well, look, I think it'll be at least 12 points. So
Yeah.
that's why I'd be more inclined to go the 13 plus because,
Yeah.
I'd say it'll be two converted tries at a minimum. You'd probably put some penalties in there and some other little stray ones during the game, you'd imagine.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
could be wrong. I could be wrong. Look, hopefully I am wrong and it's a super tight, gritty game because that'd be great to see as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think for the English, it'd be good to see them. They're coming up against the big guns, and we don't want to. Like, I just think for the contest, it'd be nice to see like a nice tight game, but I doubt that could happen. I mean, it's not that it can't happen, but I just look at that Australian side and I think, wow,
Yeah.
it's pretty lethal.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's most of the best players in the league in their respective positions, sort of thing. So, yeah, it'd be a titan of a threat to be tussling with.
Well, we've got for that for the 13 plus Reece Walsh and Shibasaki, we got that at 650. So
Wow,
pretty, yeah,
it's not enough.
Not as
It's
much
not
as
enough.
you think. Yeah, so
Yeah, right.
but yeah, so
Sports bet will be cleaning up on this weekend, eh?
yeah, sweet. Well, there's been a bit of. We might as well jump into the news cycle. There's been a bit of news this week. Bit of an interesting contract situation that's arose with Jonah Pezet, and it looks like he's going to do a 1-year stopover at the Eels, and then he's off to the Broncos after that in 2027 for a few years.
Yeah. It's a very interesting contract. I don't know how he's managed to get himself that clause, but it seems like a good little play for him because he'll get to go there down to Para underneath Moses for the year, which we've spoken about Moses plenty of times and how good we think he is. So you get to learn from him, and then up there landed with the Broncos to take over from Reno. So I wonder what this means for that young superstar coming up, Kobe Black. Does that mean he's going to be overlooked now, or does that just mean he's going to have to start looking elsewhere? What are you thinking for him?
Yeah, well, there's so much at play on all sides here, and my first thought was it doesn't signal good signs for Kobe Black. In saying that, it is going to take him some time to develop, but also I think in this day and age, you really need to be strong on your plans moving forward because we've seen it before. I mean, look at Jonah Pezet is a perfect example. He's been stuck behind Hughes and Munster, had a clause in his contract, and I must say as well, his manager's Braithen Astor. So, one of the
smartest rugby league minds around.
Yeah, so. Well, I mean, he can use his platform on 360 and his podcast to sort of, he's obviously come up with this deal. And I mean, my first thought was at this whole thing was, Kobe Black, that then blocks his path. Also, then from the Eels side, I think it's a bit of a weird move from the Eels. Why develop a player for a year to then send him to another team? But we at the Eels, they've got huge raps on a few guys coming through, and I guess they're looking at sort of maybe a bridge year with him, and because
just
we've struggled with Moses.
Type thing.
Yeah, and we've struggled with Moses being down, and he played halfback in the first final for the Storm against the Dogs this year, when Hughes was out, when he had the broken arm, and he went really well in that game, kicked the 40-20, all that sort of stuff. So I think with Pezet, I think he's definitely a promising player, But yeah, there's just so much at play on all sides here. I think if you're a club and you're seeing Kobe Black there, um, and I think what's really interesting about this is both of these players, like Jonah Pezet and Kobe Black, have both starred in that under-19s Origin game. So like Jonah Pezet started as a halfback a few years back now, and then Kobe Black has starred for the last couple of years in that as well. So both young promising players. Maybe they can find a way to. I just can't see how they can keep them all because you've got Mam there. Like you obviously um, three doesn't go into two. So, there's a bit of it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I'd hate to see the Broncos lose Kobe Black because I think they already did that with Tommy Dearden.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of them things you don't want to lose a potential up-and-coming young star that can then take over for your side long term by blocking his path with someone else that you've brought in. But at the same token, if Jonah Pezet has shown, like even in a finals level NRL side, that he can take the reins and do what's necessary, it's one of those calls that you've got a guy that is proven in the NRL versus a guy that isn't, and unfortunately most of the time the coaches are going to go with that tried and tested, proven player.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that said, he has shown some glimpses at that level, but at this stage he is still very young in his career too. I think he might have only played 18 games, or and a lot of them have been off the bench for Melbourne. So whilst he does have a bigger sample size than Kobe Black, I wouldn't say it's he's not like a 100-game halfback or anything like that. So it is a risk either way. I just think from the Broncos perspective, I would be looking at trying to tie down Kobe Black, but I also think this creates more salary cap pressure for them as well with Shibasaki, because they really need to try and hang on to Shibasaki. He wouldn't be on a very big deal at all, so they're going to have to upgrade him big time. There are going to be some casualties out of that. We all know you win a grand final, even if you make the finals, the salary cap starts to hit. Clubs are like vultures. If they see a player, they'll come in, swoop in, try and upgrade them, pay them more money, and doesn't always work out, but that's just how the game goes.
Yeah, and I guess that's just a huge test to loyalty on some of them players when that happens. Like exactly like you said, you've got players like Shibasaki who wouldn't be on much of a deal. I'd say he's probably not on anything north of 300 if he's even there. And you've seen him play last year, so you'd quite easily, as another club, be able to go, all right, well, we know that this guy, he's worth 5 or he's worth this, and he's only getting paid this year. We can still go and offer him 100 less than what he's worth. It's still 100 more than what he's getting.
Yeah, well, that's it. And I mean, this is something that has popped up in our week off as well with the R360 stuff. Like you now have this comp, which we've talked about a few times, and they're really looking at offering these players like big, lucrative amounts of money. And this could be, generational wealth that they create with that sort of F1 circuit, live golf type model that they're going with. But then at the same time, now the NRL's come out and said, well, if you sign that or a manager, if you get involved in that, 10-year ban. What's your thoughts on that?
It's definitely a very big stand that PVL's putting up, isn't it? And it's crazy how you've watched him go from it's a farce, it's never going to work, the model's ridiculous, to bringing out this 10-year ban. So obviously he's definitely worried, and I think that it might be a real threat, and it's feeling very much like the Super League.
And I said that when we spoke about this last, that the paranoia, I felt like when he said that comment about the Cocoa Pops or the, McDonald's Happy Meal, like it's a, competition out of that, that to me just felt like downplaying deflection right there. And I think coming out and I mean, look, I just think we've seen a lot of things in the game, and I'm happy that the game's protecting the game for a change. I am happy about that. But I mean, some of the stuff we've seen in rugby league for this to be a 10-year ban, when we've had some of the things that are going on in the past with like players
Yeah.
misbehaving and different things,
Ten,
it's
10 years is definitely it's too much. Like 10 years is a career. It's basically if you
yeah,
sign there, your career's done. You're not coming back to play for the NRL, especially with like the rate that the game's advancing. The young guys that are coming in, the fitness levels they've got. You go over there and play for a season or two, and then decide it's not for you, or the competition falls through, or for whatever reason you decide that you want to come back and play NRL. If you'd have a 10-year ban, it's your career gone. Like you're not getting back into the NRL. Sorry to say it.
Well, the thing is with their model as well is, where's the fan base support going to come from? Because you've got these teams that are going to be doing fly in, fly out from like Hong Kong, Dubai, all these different places like the US. And, where like, in sport, like one of the biggest things is, the support of the, like, I mean, perfect example as me is like, when I picked the Eels as my team and then like I've followed them through thick and thin and dealt with like getting, ridiculed and like having your mates DM you every time they get flogged and get a wooden spoon and all that sort of stuff. Like, but that's part of this, that's the beauty of the sport. Like you ride the highs and the lows, and I just don't see where the connection that the fan gets to this team when they're just, it's like Harlem Globetrotters. They just trot into town and play like an exhibition match and then they're off again, like how do you get into that as a fan?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. So that's one thing I sort of wanted to bring up. But what are the teams actually going to be based in a location that's going to be the team? So it might be the London, whatever they are, or are the teams going to be more sponsored? Like, is it going to be the Mercedes London, whatever? Because I feel like that's as far as I've seen in sports, generally the Saudis they're very big with like their branding and their partnership deals and everything being under this banner or this sponsor. So I feel like maybe that might be the way that they go, and teams might end up becoming sponsored by large corporations or companies. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. The details are quite scarce with this competition. Like we're sort of hearing things as they come out. I mean, I heard apparently they thought Ryan Pappenhausen was a guy out of a movie. So, like I think these guys aren't quite sure. I think what's happened is they've seen that the NRL is doing really well as a sport, and I think they've just thought, oh, we'll take some of their guys. But I mean, to be fair, some of the players that they've thrown up, like, yeah, like I'm not saying that they're bad players or anything like that, but like, I mean, I don't know, like, how much rugby experience do they have, like some of these players? Like, I'm sure some of them have played a bit of rugby and stuff in the past, but, someone like Payne Haas, who they're reporting, he wants $3 million a season if he's even to look at it. Which is crazy when you think about it, because if that's tax-free over in Dubai, and the other thing is,
It's
I'm pretty
equivalent to
sure
like 5 million, isn't it?
well, yeah, you're not getting all that, like that money taken off the top. You put that into investments, like into crypto and different, say the S&P 500 or something like that, for, stocks people. That money can really grow, and, that can set up his like generations in his family. So, it's got to be a serious consideration for some of them. But then you have the risk of, potentially being banned. And I think even with that ban, I think that they are trying to scare the players and the managers, because I just don't see how legitimate that can be.
Yeah, exactly, man. I think you're exactly right. It's a scare tactic, but in them using a scare tactic, it obviously means that they're scared and the threat could be very real. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and I guess as much as I don't want them to pillage all the stars from rugby league, I'm always open to more rugby league games to watch. So, as a supporter of the sport in general, it's all upside for me. More games.
All right, bro. So we might jump into the Mount Rushmore. Since we got the Aussies over in the UK, we might we're going with the UK rappers for this week. So if you want to kick it off.
That. For my list this week, I've got number 1, Stormzy. We both love this dude. Dope fella.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's just what can you say? He's a big unit. Actually, I bought tickets for my brother Justo for his birthday when he was 18, like a few years back now. And we were supposed to go to the Stormzy gig, so I never actually got to see him. And I'd be keen as to.
Oh, didn't you end up going to that in the end?
Well, they cancelled it. They just kept cancelling the gig. So yeah, because of COVID and all that, like a lot of the gigs were getting cancelled. So yeah, I was really really keen to see him. Like at the time that album come out, with I love that track, Big Michael. That's just
Big Mike.
It's such a banger, eh? Yeah, you must like play that when you're feeling yourself, like
when I'm really feeling myself, it's Downtown Swing will be coming on.
Yeah, we'll save that for the US rappers.
I haven't actually put that one in my sleepers yet. I bet you've just been waiting for it every week. Like, when's she gonna say it? All right, number 2, I've got Dave. One of my tracks a couple weeks back. There you go.
What can you say, bro? Like, man, Dave. He is one of my favorites of the UK guys. Just love how he's just got different styles and pockets that he can find, and he really blends in well no matter who he's doing the track with, whether it's like a singer or another rapper.
Or a random kid out of a crowd.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, that's a mad. Yeah, like
And shout out to that little kid, didn't he kill it?
Yeah. What was that track again? That's about the soccer player.
I think it was Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva. Yeah, real banger.
Yeah, man, it's top track, and the namesake of my father too. So, got to give him credit for that as well.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Number 3, one that I actually sort of started listening to this guy because of my little sister, Central C. Looks like a bit of a cancer patient, but man, he can flow.
Oh, that's cancer patient. I've never heard that one on him, but
Have you looked at him?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked that deeply at him, but yeah, no, fair.
But no hate. I love the guy, but man, he looks sick, bro. He looks like he needs some nutrients or something in him. Like,
feed him up a bit, man. Like he's been on that plant-based diet.
We'll look after him over here.
Get a bit of red meat into you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, get some iron in you. Some sunlight too. Some sunlight, that'll help.
Yeah.
And number 4, you're gonna have a hard time whacking these guys up on a Mount Rushmore because they're all going to be wearing ballies, but Harlem Spartans.
Yeah, well, we might need to get 2 mountains for them. We can get a mountain for the first list for the first guys, and then we'll chuck them on another mountain, Mount Kosciuszko or something. Like, I know you love I know you love them. Is Digger D in that group, or is he just done tracks with them?
I don't think he's in the group. No, I think he's just done tracks with them. I think also they're one of them groups where their members are constantly changing, and I think it's because they're a bit of a street gang type thing. They've constantly got new YNs coming up and taking over, and then the OGs end up either getting locked or deciding they want to pursue the family thing or whatever it be. So you've got a constant revolving door of rappers going through there, and I really dig the stuff that they're bringing out or have brought out in the past as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, definitely, man. Well, that's a dope list. Few guys in your list that I really wanted to put on there on mine, but I had to go with my faves. I had to go with my heart on it. You know, there were so many guys in my list that I wanted to put in. You know, that's what sucked about it. Like I think UK hip hop, I've always like loved it. And there's two like branches of it because like when I first started listening to it, it was a lot more on the boom bap side of things that I was listening to. And then as like I started to discover like grime and drill and the different like UK rap sort of subgenres and that, like it was real cool. But pretty much to kick off my list, bro, I got to put Dave on there. Like we said, he's just, he's just really well accomplished over there. And it was actually recently, man, I started listening to some more Dave because I was watching one of Nero's videos, Nero Knowledge for anyone out there. Like he does like a lot of esoteric metaphysical teachings and that, and I quite like his videos. But him and AJ were on there and they were talking about like Dave and how dope he was. They were just saying some of his bars and things that he'd like said on tracks and that, and it just it just, once I finished like listening to it, I just went straight back into like I was on Spotify and then I had Dave on, and then for the next few days I'm just listening to Dave. You know, it just sort of come up. I was like, shit, I hadn't listened to Dave for a minute, and then I went back and he's actually got a new album coming out too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's they just put the cover up and stuff. Like I've seen some of the promos and that coming up on the socials. So.
Cool. That would
so
be
yeah,
good.
so yeah, that'll be
good
cool
to check out.
Cool to check out. For sure. Second on the list, I got the Big Smoke Skepta. Just again, like he's just a great over there. Like on the grime scene and that, and just used to love checking out some of his like clashes and stuff from back in the day when they do those like underground grime rave type vibes and that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, he's just a gun. And then, another guy I got on there that I love, probably wouldn't be on everyone's list, but Bugsy Malone.
Yeah.
I love him, man. He's, Bugsy Malone. Like, I just love his all these, like, speeches and stuff that he does, like, all these, like, sort of slang and he's been in a couple of movies. He was in that Guy Ritchie movie, The Gentleman.
Yeah. That's a really good movie. That one. It's
a cool movie.
Well, it's got Colin Farrell and
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant, that's the fella. Yeah, got a couple of big names in that one.
Is it the guy from Sons of Anarchy in it as well? I think.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
He plays like the consigliere or whatever he is there.
Yeah, there's a few.
And then
big
that's
name
right.
actors.
The big name, Matthew McConaughey plays.
Matthew McConaughey.
Plays
I love Matthew
character.
McConaughey too.
Man,
he's
dude.
How did we
He's
forget
awesome.
him? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
he's
It
one
just
of
slipped out mine. It's actually a really good
Yeah.
movie, man. Have you seen the series that they made for like as like it's meant to follow the same like story, and it's about like Mickey, which is Matthew McConaughey's character, but they've done like a short series or a series about it. It's got that chick from Skins, the chick that plays Effie. She's in it.
I feel like I seen something like, man, I'm not sure if I'm just confusing it, but as you're saying this, it's really ringing a bell because I feel like I watched something. It's only a really short series, isn't it? Like
I think it's like 6 or 7 episodes or whatever. One of them short ones Netflix does, and it's meant to be the same thing. So it's like he's growing pot on like Lord's lands or whatever, and
yeah. No, he's really cool. I love Guy Ritchie films. Like does some of my favorite UK films. I'm
man.
Sure
really good
he's
storyteller.
Awesome. For sure. And last on the list, bit of a different one. Going back to, as I said, like the more old school over there is Jest. He was sort of like one of the first early UK rappers that I heard over there. And he just had like that sort of vibe where like he'd like sounded like he just smoked a joint, and then like he's just like rapping like real mystical, metaphysical, sort of trippy stuff. Always vibed with him. Like that was one from going back to when I was probably, in like like late teens or whatever. And yeah, like sort of going to gathos and that. Like everyone loved Jest.
Yeah, right. I can't quite remember the guy, or I don't know if I know the guy, to be honest. Have to listen to a track to
Yeah, I'll send you some of his. I'll send you some of his stuff. He's done. He did a track with Bliss and Esso. Like he's done a lot of like collabs with a lot of like he went through a period where he was doing like collabs with a lot of Australian artists. Like he did a collab with the Optimum, Bliss and Esso, Fundamentals. Like he was doing a lot of them. But yeah, he's done like stuff with like Maestro and like Brain Tax and a lot of those. There was sort of like a really big UK scene before the grime stuff started really popping in the mainstream. That was probably the most accessible. So I just had to throw someone on from that era because like I feel like, the drill and the grime and all that's sort of kicked off now, and like everyone knows the UK for that. But there was like a whole other scene that was flourishing like underneath that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but yeah, I'll send you some stuff. You'll like it. It's really cool. Like yeah, it's just like sort of stoner boom bap sort of sounding music where it's like, yeah, a lot of like jazzy, like piano samples and shit like that.
Yeah, I can get around that for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Well, yeah, fucking might as well speaking of music, might as well jump into the sleepers, eh?
Yeah, sounds good. Do you want me to kick it off or?
Yeah, bro.
All right, so this week from me, my sleeper is from Harlan Spartans, Call Me a Spartan.
Spartan, come from Harlem, baby say I'm fly like Jordan. Fuck then shit then Jake's on us, we got things on us so we part them. Cuckoo mad, run from who? Spartan Q, jump out the four-door shoot. Man down to the Spartans. Telling me more, cop your skeng. 300 now, 294 for the 6 that's locked in pen. No Jason Bourne, I cut you, need ID if you're not from ends. Baylor custom me B, cheat me or leave, get out of my bed. Southeast step, southwest, men. Shinobi men, we do drench them. Spartan dog, you're just henchmen. Where's your goons, that's a question. Border truck to hit engines. Repercussions and vengeance. Sam's and Rams are like kitchens, but inch of day like a section. Feds wanna know. Could the roads be killing it. Scoreboards looking.
All right, sweet, bro. Well, since you hadn't heard of Jest, I figured I just changed mine on the run here, so I thought I'd play a Jest track.
Sounds good, bro.
All right, sweet.
Here we go. Yeah, you may have heard about the gangster love and the space cowboy, but I'm gonna whip a cat on you right now. I've had more trouble, trials and tribulations.
It doesn't stop now. Yo. I walked in the saloon at high noon, the moonshine sipper. Spit a new rhyme till it's hasta la vista. The King Blue Twister, smash a transistor. It's the high plains drifter that had to resist the sickness of the city life. I'm sat by the river, a packet of Rizla and a flask full of liquor. Make the locals ask who's the mass figure. Fill a page with the pain, the scenes you can't picture. The last heavy hitter, so many consider me to be very bitter. Switching up my delivery, stitching up my injuries and flipping imagery, mixing toxins till I'm lost in the synergy, drowning my misery. A man of mystery, I stand in the blistering heat as the epitome of the anti-hero. Tipping my Stetson, space cowboy, I drink whiskey with George Jetson.
Another one in the bag. Looking forward to the footy this weekend. Bit of international footy.
Yeah, it should be good. Couple of good matches coming up. So yeah, and it's good that we get that little bit of footy fix after the grand final. It was sort of looking like we might not have some for a while, and now we got a little bit to get us through.
Yeah, for sure. No, looking forward to it. Sweet as, bro. Well, I'll see you next week.
Too easy. See you, man. Peace. Thanks,
Peace.
guys.